All right, today we're talking about the most prominent cause of bunions. That's a big focus of mine lately, and probably for this entire year in general. I just released an article on the three main causes of bunions. That's going to be linked below. I'm going to go into the first point today. I'm going to go in depth on it, spend several minutes on it, and then we'll get to the next ones in future videos, which will come soon after. Also later this year, I do plan to have some kind of like a fixing bunions program that you guys can like download and keep for yourselves. So I want to make that later this year and put it up on my PayHip profile along with the plantar fasciitis program. So stay tuned for those. Well, the plantar fasciitis one's already there, but the bunion one. So anyway, most prominent cause of bunions. That's why we're here. And honestly, this is really no surprise. It's actually like something you can visually see. It's your shoes. It's literally the shoes you wear every day. The shoes you wear are 99% chance the toe box is too narrow. That's all it is. It's not even complicated. Literally, your foot is, however wide, and your shoe is kind of like half that width in the toe box. So that's the most prominent cause of bunions. Pretty simple. The fix is honestly, I'd say fairly simple enough too, as long as the bunion isn't too developed. If you've had it for a long time, maybe it's a different story. When I had one, it wasn't very developed. I was able to kind of reverse it pretty quickly. I also did the correct things though. A lot of people kind of fight the information. They really want to go to doctors and hear what a bunch of them say, which I hate to say it's a bad thing, but I gotta tell you, a lot of them don't recommend very good things. I just really don't see it. They don't talk about getting truly wide shoes, as in barefoot shoes or minimalist, whatever you call it. They'll put you in something that's more like an orthotic, or they'll tell you to go get like a wide New Balance shoe. It's like, those are not wide enough. They're literally not good enough for your feet. They don't talk about toe spacers. You should be wearing those if you have a bunion. But anyway, I'm getting ahead because the point I'm making is that standard footwear is basically just too constrictive. There's no other way to put it. It's actually very simple. Your toes should all be operating individually. They all generate strength. They all help you balance. Then there is supposed to be a natural width. And when you are load bearing, and that could be anything, carrying something, lifting weights, jumping up and landing back down, whenever you're taking that pressure in your feet, your toes know to splay wider. You land and you splay wider with the toes because that's what they do to create stability. Problem is, when we are in constrictive footwear that has very narrow toe boxes, it teaches our toes to stay narrow, even outside of the shoes. So a lot of us today, like I'm 27, and for 23 years maybe, I can't remember, but 22, 23 years, I wore regular constrictive shoes. So my toes learned to be more narrow. They had to fit into a tight toe box. And so my toes, they still do splay, and I practice every day, moving them around, mobilizing them. But they have definitely learned to not do exactly what they used to do naturally. You can even see a lot of the kind of I don't know what to call it, like the compromised position that they're in now, where the big toe is pushed in a little bit. My second and fourth toe are kind of like rounded to come to a point, because that's how these toe boxes are shaped. They're shaped like a point instead of being rounded, because the ends of your toes are actually supposed to be the widest part of your foot, if you can even believe that. a lot of shoes today are made so that basically the ball of the foot is the widest part. And, it sounds okay, but it's just too narrow. The toes need to be even wider than the ball of the foot is. The toe joints, the first to the fifth, we'll say. Yeah, because there is a natural toe splay that needs to happen. Honestly, I got made aware of this by Dr. Ray McClanahan of Northwest Foot and Ankle. He says that you can basically test to see if your shoes fit by pulling out the shoe liner and putting your bare foot on it, not in socks, in your bare foot on the shoe liner. If any part of your foot falls off, then it's too small for you. The shoe's too narrow. I would even add to that to spread your toes on it. Make sure that your toes are actually getting wider while they're on there to see that when you're taking impact, does the shoe allow them to spread? Chances are it probably doesn't. So he calls this the shoe liner test. You should perform the shoe liner test on all of your shoes. That test, by the way, is linked in the article that I am reading off of, the one that I just wrote on bunions. But anyway, the shoe liner test is really good because it basically shows you visually that barefoot and minimalist shoes are kind of the only ones that provide you with enough space. When I did this test on my old shoes, I didn't stand a chance. My feet were way over the edges. On the barefoot shoe liners, much better. I won't say perfect, but I'll say much better. And we've got to take what we can get here. So anyway, this is just the most prominent cause of bunions. I'm looking to see if there's anything else to mention. I think I pretty much said it. Constricting your toes together, coming to a point, it's not how they're meant to function. It's just simple as that. Your toes all generate strength and they all work for a reason. They all contribute to your force generation, your balance, agility, everything. So you need them to be working, and if you don't have them working, you're going to be dealing with bunions and bunionettes. You're going to be dealing with arches of your foot that collapse, and you end up with flat feet. You're going to end up with multiple problems, so I'd really recommend that you look into taking care of this. Do it earlier rather than later. Like I said, I had a bunion a few years ago, but I pretty quickly reversed it. I have to say it actually didn't take a ton of effort on my part. However, I was doing the correct things and I did them fast. I did them right away. I took it seriously because I am someone who does not like to be in pain. I really don't like it, especially not anymore. I do like what I can to get out of pain quickly now because ever since I had that bad case of plantar fasciitis, that was miserable. I hated it. So I am never doing that again. I work pretty hard to get rid of these issues. And then I like documenting them for you guys because I like when you guys comment or you email me and tell me like, hey, this actually worked, thank you. I love that. So anyway, I'm ranting as I always am. The bunion article is going to be linked below this. Check it out. It's going to go into more depth than I did here. I think I said I would link the barefoot shoes, probably Zero shoes. I'll put those below. If I see anything else fit, I'll throw it down there too. But stick around. We got a lot more stuff like this coming out. It's going to get better and better. Every day there's stuff coming out like this. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time.